Imagine standing at the edge of human ambition, where engineering defies nature and cities rise from deserts, oceans, and mountains. From bridges that stretch across impossible chasms to skyscrapers that pierce the clouds. These are the projects that redefine what our species is capable of. Every bolt, every beam, every drop of concrete tells a story of vision, risk, and sheer audacity. Welcome to a journey through the world's biggest mega projects, where dreams turn into monuments and the impossible becomes reality. Rising above the winding hills and clustered skyscrapers of southwest China's megacity, the Huangzhuan interchange unfolds like a concrete labyrinth suspended in the air, a place where steel, roadways, and human ambition collide in breathtaking complexity. At first glance, it looks almost unreal, as if engineers had spread a city's worth of highways over 5 levels and woven them together like strands of silk. This isn't just another highway crossing. Here in the Nannan district of Chongqing, more than 20 ramps twist, curve, and branch into 8 directions, connecting major expressways, urban arteries, and strategic transport corridors. Some of its elevated roads rise nearly 37 meters above the ground, the height of a 12-story building, making it one of the most intricate and ambitious interchanges anywhere in the world. Building it was a puzzle of immense scale. From 2009 until its opening in 2017, planners and workers grappled with the demands of mountainous terrain, the needs of one of China's fastest-growing cities, and the engineering challenge of routing traffic efficiently through a landscape that seems to defy order. Ramps intersect like threads in a giant web, each one a pathway linking distant neighborhoods, the airport, major bridges, and the heart of the metropolis. Yet navigating it can feel like entering a maze by design. From observation points around the interchange, the scene is almost dizzying. Layers of roadways stack above one another. Cars drift through sweeping curves, and the city's hills rise and fall around the structure, blurring the line between landscape and infrastructure. Some describe it as a spaghetti junction, a nickname meant as much for admiration as bewilderment, while others say it resembles a living organism, its lanes pulsing with the flow of urban life. But this is more than a tangle of roads. It's a testament to planning under pressure, a solution to congestion built for a city that defies easy engineering answers. For Chongqing's millions of residents, it stands as a vital hub that moves people and goods across daunting topography, shrinking distances and connecting lives. And for visitors and engineers alike, it's a place that inspires awe, a reminder that sometimes the greatest feats of human design emerge where challenge and necessity meet. Cut deep into the rugged canyon of the Colorado River stands a structure that redefined what modern engineering could accomplish. The Hoover Dam isn't just a wall of concrete. It's a symbol of ambition built during one of the harshest economic periods in modern history. Completed in 1936, this colossal arch-gravity dam rises about 221 meters high and stretches 379 meters across Black Canyon, straddling the border between Arizona and Nevada. Its purpose was monumental: tame the unpredictable Colorado River, provide irrigation water, control floods, and generate electricity for a rapidly growing region. The construction challenge was staggering. Workers first diverted the river through massive tunnels carved in the canyon walls. Then came the concrete. More than 4.4 million cubic meters poured in carefully planned blocks rather than one single mass. If cast all at once, the heat from curing could have taken over a century to dissipate and crack the structure apart. To solve this, engineers embedded hundreds of miles of cooling pipes throughout the concrete. Chilled water circulated through them, accelerating cooling so each block solidified safely in weeks instead of decades, a technique that became a model for future megaprojects. Behind the dam lies Lake Mead, one of the largest reservoirs in the United States, storing tens of billions of cubic meters of water and supplying hydroelectric power to millions across the Southwest. Beyond statistics, Hoover Dam represents control over scale, harnessing natural forces powerful enough to carve canyons and redirecting them toward human needs. Even nearly a century later, engineers still study it, not just for its size, but for the ingenuity that made its construction possible. Hoover Dam proves that sometimes the greatest engineering triumphs aren't about reaching upward, but about mastering the forces flowing beneath our feet. Spanning the entrance to San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate Bridge is not merely an iconic landmark, but one of the most ambitious engineering feats of the 20th century, a symbol of human ingenuity, perseverance, and the relentless drive to connect communities across formidable natural obstacles. When it opened in 1937, the bridge transformed the relationship between San Francisco and Marin County, replacing the time-consuming ferry crossings with a sweeping 2.7-kilometer, 1.7-mile span that quickly became essential for commerce, daily life, and tourism, while also earning its place as one of the most photographed and recognized structures in the world. Its distinctive international orange color was carefully chosen not just for aesthetics, but for visibility in the frequent fog that shrouds the Golden Gate Strait, a narrow channel known for powerful currents, deep waters, and strong winds, which made the bridge's construction uniquely challenging. Designed by Chief Engineer Joseph Strauss, along with contributions from visionary engineers such as Leon Moisseiff and Charles Ellis, the bridge pioneered techniques in suspension bridge design, using massive cables composed of tens of thousands of steel wires and enormous anchorages to hold the roadway high above turbulent waters, while allowing the structure to flex and sway safely with wind and seismic activity. The construction itself was an extraordinary feat of human courage and coordination, involving thousands of workers who risked extreme heights, treacherous winds, and cold, foggy conditions. Despite these dangers, innovative safety measures, including the first use of a movable safety net, saved the lives of many workers and set new standards for industrial safety at the time. Beyond its technical and aesthetic achievements, the Golden Gate Bridge has become a cultural icon, representing both the ambition of the American West and the human capacity to overcome natural barriers, inspiring artists, filmmakers, and engineers worldwide, while drawing millions of visitors annually who walk, bike, and drive across its majestic span. Over the decades, the bridge has undergone continuous maintenance, retrofitting, and seismic strengthening to ensure that it withstands the test of time, earthquakes, and relentless environmental conditions, demonstrating an ongoing commitment to innovation and preservation. From dawn until dusk, the interplay of fog, sunlight, and the bridge's striking silhouette creates a dramatic and ever-changing visual experience that has cemented its place in the global imagination, a blend of utility, beauty, and engineering brilliance that continues to connect not only land and water, but also history, culture, and human aspiration. The Golden Gate Bridge stands as a testament to vision, resilience, and the power of collaboration, a living monument where architecture, nature, and human determination converge, reminding the world that even the most imposing obstacles can be transformed into symbols of unity, progress, and enduring inspiration. Cutting through the heart of the Japanese Alps, the Tateyama-Kirobe Alpine Route is not just a journey. It's an experience that feels almost otherworldly. Stretching between Toyama and Nagano, this remarkable route carries travelers across towering peaks, deep valleys, and landscapes that shift dramatically with the seasons. Unlike a single road or railway, the route is a seamless chain of transport systems, cable cars, ropeways, buses, and tunnels, each one designed to navigate terrain too extreme for ordinary travel. As you ascend higher into the mountains, the air cools, the silence deepens, and the scenery becomes increasingly surreal. In spring, the route reveals its most iconic spectacle, the legendary snow corridor. Massive walls of snow, sometimes rising over 20 meters high, line the road like frozen cliffs, creating a passage that feels carved from ice itself. Visitors walk between these towering barriers, dwarfed by nature's scale and power. Deeper into the journey lies the engineering marvel of the Kuro Dam, Japan's tallest dam. Here, water crashes down in dramatic releases, echoing through the mountains, while the surrounding peaks stand as silent witnesses to both natural force and human ingenuity. Every segment of the route reveals a new perspective. Cable cars gliding over forests, ropeways suspended above valleys, and panoramic views that stretch endlessly across the alpine horizon. It's a place where movement itself becomes part of the adventure, each transition offering a fresh encounter with the landscape. Yet beyond its beauty, the Alpine route is a triumph of determination. Built in one of Japan's most challenging environments, it represents years of effort to connect isolated regions while preserving the fragile mountain ecosystem. As seasons change, so does the route. Lush greenery in summer, fiery colors in autumn, and a pristine white world in winter. No two journeys are ever the same, yet each one carries the same sense of wonder. Here, high above the ordinary world, the Tateyama-Kirobe Alpine route reminds us that sometimes the most incredible destinations aren't places we stay, but journeys we experience step by step through the extremes of nature and the limits of human possibility. Stretching across the southwestern coast of the Netherlands, the Delta Works stands as one of the most monumental achievements in human engineering and climate adaptation ever realized. Born from necessity, shaped by tragedy, and perfected through decades of innovation to protect a nation where nearly 1/3 of the land lies below sea level. The story of the Delta Works begins with the catastrophic North Sea flood of 1953, a devastating storm surge that struck on the night of January 31st. And February 1st, breaching dikes across Zeeland, South Holland, and North Brabant, killing more than 1,800 people, destroying entire villages, and exposing the vulnerability of a people long accustomed to living in the shadow of water. In the aftermath, the Dutch government made a historic decision not merely to rebuild what was lost, but to rethink the very relationship between land and sea, launching what would become the Delta Works in 1958, a comprehensive system of dams, storm surge barriers, locks, levees, and floodgates engineered to control the water of the North Sea itself rather than simply resisting it. At its core is the Oosterskeldiekering, a 9-kilometer movable storm surge barrier made of massive steel gates that can be lowered during extreme high tides and storms to block destructive waves, yet remain open under normal conditions to preserve tidal flow and marine ecosystems, embodying a philosophy of coexistence with nature rather than domination. Around the Oosterskeldiekering, other monumental structures, including the Haringvlietdam, Hesterbach, and Grevelingen Dam, work in concert to shorten the length of coastline exposed to the sea, regulate water levels in estuarine environments, and protect fertile agricultural lands, urban centers, and critical infrastructure that together support millions of lives and billions in economic activity. The engineering challenges were immense. Designers and builders had to invent new techniques for underwater construction, advanced hydraulic modeling, and materials capable of withstanding some of the world's strongest tidal forces, while planners worked to balance safety with environmental stewardship so that wetlands, fisheries, and natural habitats could survive and even thrive under a managed system of water control. As each phase was completed over the following decades, the Delta Works reduced the risk of flooding to levels previously unimaginable and became a living laboratory for climate resilience. with continuous monitoring, upgrades, and innovations that adapt the system to rising sea levels and changing weather patterns driven by global climate change. Beyond its technical achievements, the Delta Works represents a cultural ethos in the Netherlands. Water is not merely an external threat, but an ever-present partner in daily life, shaping agriculture, transportation, urban planning, and even leisure. And the nation's approach to water management has inspired flood defense projects on every continent as countries grapple with similar challenges. Today, the Delta Works stands not only as a safeguard for Dutch lives and livelihoods, but also as an educational and research landmark, drawing engineers, policymakers, and environmental scientists from around the world to study its design, operations, and integrated approach to risk management. In every sense, the Delta Works is more than a series of physical barriers. It is a testament to human resolve in the face of natural forces, a symbol of collective will shaped by history and driven by the need to protect future generations, and a powerful reminder that with vision, collaboration, and innovation, even the most daunting challenges posed by nature can be met with solutions that endure, evolve, and inspire.
Stretching nearly 8 kilometers across open water, the Mackinac Bridge doesn't just connect two land masses. It connects two worlds. Here, in the rugged straits between Lake Michigan and Lake Huron, engineers had to tame nature's raw forces to bind America's upper and lower peninsulas together with steel, cable, and rock. Known locally as the Mighty Mac, this suspension bridge was completed in 1957 after years of planning and construction under conditions that would unsettle even seasoned builders. Designed by David B. Steinman, it became a testbed for aerodynamic stability, incorporating an open-load grid deck and deep stiffening trusses specifically to withstand the punishing winds that wore through the straits. At mid-span, the roadway hangs roughly 200 feet above the water, supported by massive towers that rise over 550 feet high. Steel giants anchored deep into the cold lake bed. Yet the drama isn't just vertical. In severe wind conditions, the center of the suspended deck can shift as much as 35 feet sideways, a controlled dance between structure and storm. When it opened, the Mackinac Bridge became the longest suspension bridge between anchorages in the Western Hemisphere, a title it still holds decades later. For decades before, ferries were the only way to cross. Now, whether it's freight trucks rumbling across or families driving into vacation country, this singular span has redefined connectivity in a place that once seemed divided by geography itself. It isn't just a bridge, it's a testament to what happens when courage, design, and engineering confront elements that refuse to cooperate. Shanghai Tower spirals skyward in the heart of Lujiazui, immediately commanding attention as a twisting testament to ambition, sustainability, and engineering prowess. Its glass-clad exterior captures the city's light, reflecting the bustling skyline below while signaling China's drive toward vertical urban innovation. Standing at 632 meters with 128 floors, it is China's tallest building and the second tallest in the world. Its distinctive double-skin facade reduces wind load, conserves energy, and supports state-of-the-art elevators capable of traveling more than 20 meters per second, transporting occupants through the building's vertical cityscape with fluid efficiency. Completed in 2015, after a decade of construction, the tower embodies advanced structural design, wide engineering, and integrated smart systems, combining office space, observation decks, retail zones, and cultural venues within a single vertical ecosystem. Its spiraling form is inspired by traditional Chinese symbolism, blending modern technology with aesthetic elegance. Ascending its heights, visitors feel suspended between sky and city, a sensation of awe amplified by panoramic views of the Huangpu River and surrounding skyline. Shanghai Tower exemplifies how ambition, innovation, and architectural vision converge, transforming a simple tower into a landmark of human ingenuity and urban aspiration. The Shenzhen-Zhongshan link rises across the Pearl River Delta like a sweeping steel ribbon, immediately signaling scale, precision, and transformative connectivity. Stretching over dozens of kilometers, it unites two of China's fastest-growing urban centers, turning the waters and islands of the Delta into a seamless corridor for commerce and travel. The bridge-tunnel complex combines long-span bridges, artificial islands, and undersea passages engineered to withstand typhoons, tidal currents, and seismic activity. Advanced materials, aerodynamic design, and precision construction techniques ensure structural resilience while accommodating high-volume traffic and heavy logistics across one of the world's busiest coastal regions. Planned and executed as part of the Greater Bay Area Initiative, the project reflects strategic integration of transportation, economic planning, and urban expansion. By shortening travel times and linking major industrial and financial hubs, it strengthens regional cohesion while supporting China's ambitions for global trade and innovation. Traveling along the elevated spans or glimpsing the undersea section, commuters and visitors experience a sensation of motion over water, with the delta's islands, rivers, and urban clusters unfolding below. The Shenzhen-Zhongshan link stands as a monument to engineering ambition, where human ingenuity transforms natural waterways into arteries of progress and connection. The Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal stretches across the heart of China like a ribbon of history, immediately conveying scale, ingenuity, and the enduring power of human ambition. Flowing over 1,000 miles from the northern capital to the southern heartland, its waters link cities, rivers, and cultures, shaping landscapes and civilizations along the way. Constructed over centuries, the canal integrates locks, levees, and waterways engineered with precision to manage elevation changes, seasonal flooding, and long-distance navigation. It stands as the world's longest man-made waterway, reflecting ancient expertise in hydraulic engineering, urban planning, and resource management. Throughout history, the Grand Canal has facilitated trade, agriculture, and cultural exchange, enabling the movement of grain, goods, and people across vast distances. Its continuing function in modern times demonstrates the adaptability of historic infrastructure in supporting contemporary economic and urban development. Traveling along its flowing path, visitors sense continuity between past and present, the gentle ripple of water, the sight of historic bridges, and the rhythm of commerce, all evoking a living artery of civilization. The Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal is more than a waterway. It is a testament to human creativity, endurance, and the ability to shape nature in service of society.
Out over the shimmering waters of the Yellow Sea lies a structure so immense it feels like humanity trying to stretch the horizon itself. This is the Jiaozhou Bay Bridge, a colossal roadway slicing straight across Jiaozhou Bay in eastern China, at roughly 26.7 kilometers long, with more than 25 kilometers of it spanning open water. This isn't just a bridge, it's one of the longest sea bridges ever built. A continuous corridor linking the urban heart of Qingdao with the industrial and airport districts across the bay. Construction took 4 years and tens of thousands of workers, using 450,000 tons of steel and over 2.3 million cubic meters of concrete, enough to rival the mass of dozens of Eiffel Towers. More than 5,000 concrete piles anchor the bridge to the bay floor, engineered to withstand earthquakes, typhoons, and even the impact of large vessels navigating the busy waters below. The road deck carries a 6-lane highway, cutting travel time across the bay by up to 30 minutes compared to the long coastal route. This two-shaped megastructure has multiple navigable sections, each spanning channels that are crucial for shipping traffic, and a design that blends per-stress concrete with cable and estate engineering on key spans. For engineers, Jiaozhou Bay Bridge wasn't just about being long. It was about mastering marine conditions, dynamic loads, and climatic extremes in one of the world's busiest coastal regions. When you drive across it, you're not just crossing water. You're traversing a continuous testament to scale, ambition, and precision, where human design meets the relentless expanse of the sea itself.
Rising majestically over the mighty Yangtze River in Wuhan, Hubei Province, the Yangtze Suspension Bridge is a groundbreaking achievement in modern bridge engineering that redefines scale, capacity, and connectivity in China and the world. Opened to traffic on October 8, 2019 after 4 years of intensive construction. This double-deck suspension bridge spans approximately 1,700 meters between its main towers, making it the longest spanning double-deck suspension bridge on Earth and one of. The longest suspension spans overall, while its total length reaches about 4.13 kilometers as it links the Hanyang and Wuchang districts across one of Asia's most vital waterways. Designed to carry heavy traffic with 12 lanes of roadway split between upper and lower decks, the bridge also accommodates pedestrians, cycling paths, and non-motorized vehicles, balancing colossal transport capacity with public access and leisure use. Beyond its sheer size, the Yangtze Suspension Bridge symbolizes a new era of infrastructure integration, easing regional congestion, improving connectivity across Wuhan's urban core, and promoting more balanced economic growth in one of China's fastest developing metropolitan areas. Its record-setting engineering reflects both technical innovation and the ambition driving China's modern megaprojects, where functionality and landmark status converge in structures that connect people, transform cities, and push the boundaries of what is possible in civil engineering.
The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge stretches across the South China Sea like a silver artery, immediately conveying ambition, scale, and the mastery of marine engineering. Spanning nearly 55 kilometers, the bridge connects 3 major cities, uniting islands, coastlines, and economic zones through a continuous ribbon of road and tunnel. Its design combines long-span bridges, artificial islands, and an undersea tunnel, engineered to resist typhoons, strong currents, and seismic activity. High-performance materials, aerodynamic forms, and advanced construction techniques ensure stability and durability across open water, when allowing for heavy traffic flow and logistical efficiency. Completed in 2018, after nearly a decade of coordinated construction, the project demonstrates China's ability to integrate architecture, engineering, and strategic infrastructure to reshape regional connectivity. It has reduced travel time between Hong Kong, Macau, and Zhuhai for hours to minutes, strengthening trade, tourism, and cross-border exchange. Traveling along the bridge, drivers and passengers experience a sense of vast openness, with the sea stretching in every direction and the cityscapes appearing both distant and intimately connected. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge is more than a transportation link. It is a bold testament to human ingenuity, ambition, and the power of engineering to unite land, water, and people. The Fuxing high-speed train surges across China's vast landscape as a symbol of velocity, precision, and modern mobility, gliding between cities with a quiet authority that reflects the country's commitment to advanced transportation. From dense urban hubs to distant regions, its streamlined form cuts across distance, redefining how quickly people and economies connect. Operating on an expanding network of dedicated high-speed rail lines, the train reaches commercial speeds of around 350 kilometers per hour, supported by aerodynamic engineering, intelligent control systems, and reinforced track infrastructure designed for stability and safety. Its interiors balance efficiency with comfort, integrating digital monitoring, energy-optimized components, and vibration reduction technologies to sustain reliability over long distances. Introduced during the 21st century as part of a broader national rail modernization effort, the Fuxing series represents domestically developed high-speed technology aimed at improving capacity, reducing travel times, and strengthening regional integration. Continuous upgrades in materials, signaling systems, and operational coordination reflect an ongoing evolution in transport engineering. As passengers watch cities blur into countryside through panoramic windows, the experience becomes more than transit. It is a moment suspended between departure and arrival, where acceleration and stillness coexist, revealing how innovation can reshape perception of distance while carrying millions toward opportunity, connection, and motion. Imagine a road carved out of the most hostile terrain on Earth, a ribbon of asphalt gripping sheer mountain walls, clinging to cliff edges, and vanishing into the clouds above 4,700 meters. This is the Karakoram Highway, a lifeline between Pakistan and China and one of the most astonishing feats of civil engineering ever attempted. Stretching nearly 1,300 kilometers from Hassan Abdul in Pakistan's Punjab province all the way to Kashgar in China's Xinjiang, this highway doesn't just link two countries. It stitches together ancient Silk Road culture with modern global trade. Along the way, it threads through some of the planet's most rugged landscapes, gigantic glaciers, plunging valleys, roaring rivers, and peaks that tower above 8,000 meters, mountains that dwarf most skyscrapers. At its highest point near Kanjarat Pass, the road climbs to approximately 4,700 meters above sea level, making it one of the highest paved international border crossings in the world. Building it was anything but simple. The Karakoram Range is notorious for avalanches, rockfalls, and landslides, natural hazards that forced crews to work in extreme cold, oxygen-thin air, and unstable geology. Despite this, Pakistani and Chinese engineers completed the colossal route in the late 1970s, opening a passage where none had existed. This is more than a road. It's a strategic artery for trade, a gateway for tourism, and a testament to human tenacity against nature's most unforgiving theaters. But that tenacity came at a cost. Harsh conditions and unpredictable terrain make travel here both breathtaking and perilous. Driving the Karakoram Highway isn't just sport. It's a journey across history, culture, and geography, where every hairpin turn reveals landscapes that seem almost too dramatic to be real.
Stelvio Pass Road, Italy. From above, it looks beautiful. From behind the wheel, it feels relentless. Stelvio Pass climbs to 2,757 meters in the Italian Alps, connecting Lombardy with South Tyrol. It is famous for its 75 hairpin turns, 48 of them stacked tightly on the eastern side alone. But numbers don't capture the experience. Each hairpin demands full steering lock, then immediately another, then another. The rhythm never stops. Your arms move constantly, your focus cannot break. The turns are tight, brutally tight. Some are so narrow that long vehicles must stop mid-corner, reverse slightly, and correct their angle just to complete the bend. Now imagine doing that with a sheer drop waiting inches beyond your rear wheels. There are guardrails in many sections, but they are modest. Low concrete barriers standing between your tires and a vertical fall of hundreds of meters. The incline is steep enough to stress engines on the way up and overheat brakes on the way down. Engine braking is essential. Ride the brakes too hard and they fade. Lose braking efficiency here, and there are no long straightaways to recover control. Cyclists push themselves to the limit climbing this pass. Sports cars test their torque. Motorcyclists lean into curves with calculated precision. But no matter the vehicle, one truth remains: you are always turning. There is no mental rest. no extended straight stretch to relax your grip. Fog can roll in quickly at altitude, weather changes within minutes. Sunlight at the base can turn into cold mist at the summit, and yet drivers return again and again because Stelvio isn't just a road. It's a challenge, a mechanical and psychological trial that demands discipline. You don't conquer Stelvio, you survive it one curve at a time. Guoliang Tunnel Road, China. Some roads are engineered. This one was carved by desperation. Hidden deep within the Taihang Mountains, the Guoliang Tunnel Road was not built by machines. It was carved by 13 villagers using hammers and chisels. For 5 long years, they attacked solid rock, meter by meter, because their village was completely cut off from the outside world. Before this tunnel existed, the only access was a vertical stone staircase known as the Sky Ladder. One slip meant certain death, so they decided to carve through the mountain itself. The result is a 1.2-kilometer tunnel blasted directly into a cliff face, roughly 4 meters wide and about 5 meters high, barely enough for 2 small vehicles to squeeze past each other. But this isn't a smooth, modern tunnel. The walls are raw rock. The surface is uneven. Sharp edges protrude in places. Natural light enters through large rectangular openings carved into the cliff, dramatic windows that reveal a vertical drop hundreds of meters below. When you drive through, your headlights bounce off jagged stone. The road surface vibrates beneath the tires. There are blind curves inside the tunnel itself. No bright lane markings, no modern ventilation system humming overhead, just stone. Outside the tunnel, the road clings to the cliff with minimal barriers. Some sections rely on simple concrete edges. Others feel exposed, as if the mountain could reclaim the path at any moment. Rainwater seeps through cracks in the ceiling. In winter, ice forms in unpredictable patches. Fog can roll across the cliffside, reducing visibility to almost nothing. And yet, this road stands as a testament to human willpower, but that doesn't make it safe. Driving Guoliang feels like moving through the mountain's spine, as if you're inside something ancient and powerful. One misjudged turn, one distracted second, and the same mountain that allowed passage could take it back. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. Some roads were never meant for modern vehicles. Skipper's Canyon Road feels like one of them. Carved in the 1880s during the Gold Rush, this narrow gravel track clings to the cliffs above the Shotover River in New Zealand. It was originally blasted out by hand long before cars even existed, and it still feels that way. The road is barely wide enough for a single vehicle in many sections. There are no proper guardrails, no generous shoulders, just raw rock on one side and a vertical drop on the other. Hundreds of meters down, the Shotover River cuts through the canyon like a blade. When 2 vehicles meet, the tension spikes instantly. One driver must reverse, sometimes along a curve, carefully inching backward toward the cliff edge until a slightly wider section appears. The surface is mostly loose gravel and dirt. After rain, it transforms into a slippery trap. Tires lose traction. Steering feels uncertain. Small slides become big consequences. Tour buses still attempt this route. Imagine meeting one on a blind corner, its massive body filling the entire track. Insurance companies in New Zealand often include clauses voiding coverage if you drive here. That tells you everything. There are sections where the rock wall leans inward, scraping mirrors if you misjudge distance. Other parts feel exposed, as if the road is balancing on nothing. No barriers to save you, no runoff space to recover, just canyon, air, and gravity. Driving Skipper's Canyon isn't about speed. It's about precision under pressure, and every successful crossing feels less like a commute and more like escaping a trap carved into stone. Kolyma Highway, Russia, they call it the Road of Bones, not because of its curves, not because of its ice, but because of what lies beneath it. The Kolyma Highway stretches over 2,000 kilometers through Russia's far eastern wilderness, connecting Magadan to Yakutsk. It was built during Stalin's era by forced labor from Gulag prisoners. Hundreds of thousands died constructing it. Many were buried directly beneath the road itself. Every meter carries history soaked in suffering, But even without its dark past, the road is brutal. Winter temperatures here can drop below degrees C. Engines freeze, diesel thickens, metal cracks under extreme cold. If your vehicle stalls in remote sections, survival becomes a serious concern. Large portions of the highway remain unpaved, mud in summer, ice in winter, endless potholes year-round. In cold months, parts of the route rely on frozen rivers as temporary ice roads. These natural highways are only stable when temperatures remain consistently low. A slight thaw can weaken the ice without warning. Isolation defines this road. Some stretches run hundreds of kilometers without major settlements. Cell signals vanish. Mechanical breakdowns become life-threatening. Blizzards can erase visibility completely. Whiteout conditions make road and landscape indistinguishable. Drivers navigate by memory and instinct. In summer, heavy rains turn sections into deep mud corridors. Vehicles sink. Recovery equipment becomes essential. The Colomar Highway is not dramatic with sharp hairpins. Its danger is slow, persistent, relentless, cold that seeps into your bones, distance that plays tricks on your mind. And the chilling realization that beneath your tires lies a history that never truly left. Driving here feels less like a road trip and more like crossing a frozen monument to endurance and tragedy. Route 500, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada on a map, it looks harmless. Route 500 in Newfoundland and Labrador stretches through vast forests and isolated terrain. It's long, remote, and deceptively calm, but remoteness creates its own kind of danger. This highway cuts through wildlife territory. Moose collisions here are not rare incidents, they are a serious threat. Adult moose can weigh over 500 kilograms, and their height means impact often shatters windshields directly at driver level. Now imagine driving at night. Street lighting is minimal across long stretches. Fog rolls in from coastal areas. In winter, snowstorms arrive suddenly. Black ice forms silently across the asphalt. There are sections where fuel stations are dozens of kilometers apart. Cellular service drops without warning. If a vehicle breaks down in freezing temperatures, help may not come quickly. Temperatures can plunge far below zero. Engines struggle to start. Batteries fail. Tires harden in extreme cold, reducing grip. And then there is monotony. Long, straight stretches through dense forest can lull drivers into a false sense of security. Fatigue builds quietly. Reaction time slows. Suddenly, headlights reflect off two towering legs in the darkness. At highway speed, there is almost no time to respond. Route 500 is not dramatic. It doesn't hang off cliffs or twist through mountain passes. Its danger hides in silence, isolation, wildlife, weather, and the realization that in some places you are very, very alone. Paso de los Libertadores, Chile, Argentina. High in the Andes, near the border of Chile and Argentina, lies one of South America's most critical mountain crossings. Paso de los Libertadores is a lifeline for trade between the two countries, but it demands respect from every driver who attempts it. The road climbs steeply through dramatic elevation changes. Hairpin turns stack upon each other as vehicles ascend toward the Cristo Redentor tunnel near the summit. Altitude affects engines, power drops, braking distances increase during descents. Winter transforms the pass completely. Heavy snowfall blankets the roadway. Ice forms beneath compacted snow. Visibility can collapse within minutes as Andean storms roll in. Massive freight trucks dominate this route. Long convoys crawl upward in low gears. On sharp bends, trailers swing wide, leaving little margin for error. Guardrails exist, but the drop beyond them is immense. Descending requires discipline. Overheated brakes can lead to catastrophic failure. Runaway truck ramps are placed strategically, a silent reminder of what has happened here before. Traffic congestion can trap vehicles for hours if weather conditions deteriorate. When authorities close the pass due to snow, lines of trucks stretch for kilometers on both sides of the border. This isn't a scenic mountain drive. It's a test of patience, mechanics, and nerve. Every turn feels deliberate, every shift of gear calculated. Because at this altitude, mistakes travel faster than help. South Africa's Sani Pass, climbing the Drakensberg Mountains between South Africa and Lesotho is a challenge for even experienced 4x4 drivers. Only high-clearance vehicles are allowed because gradients can exceed 1.3 in some sections, while loose rocks and mud add to the hazard. The narrow road often forces vehicles to reverse when encountering oncoming traffic, sometimes for hundreds of meters along cliff edges with sheer drops below. Rain transforms it into a slippery obstacle course, while fog obscures visibility, leaving drivers with nothing but intuition and skill. Every curve demands focus, every descent precision. A single mistake can send a vehicle sliding backward into disaster. Sani Pass is a high-stakes test of nerves, endurance, and mastery over vehicle in some of the most remote, unforgiving terrain on Earth. Trollstigen, Norway. Trollstigen, the Troll's Ladder, winds through the Norwegian mountains with 11 nearly 180 degrees hairpin bends. The gradient reaches up to 11%, and sheer cliffs line the narrow road. Driving here feels like an adrenaline-fueled challenge, where every turn requires skill and focus. Tourist buses navigate the hairpins carefully, while cars must anticipate sudden merges, slick curves, and the unpredictable weather. Rain, fog, and occasional snow increase the risk, while the exposure to vertical drops intensifies psychological pressure. Driving Trollstigen is a constant battle against physics, fear, and environment. One moment of overconfidence can be fatal, yet the views of cascading waterfalls, jagged peaks, and misty valleys reward the bold who navigate this legendary road. Stelvio Pass, Italy. The Stelvio Pass, high in the Italian Alps, is a road that redefines the word hairpin. With 48 numbered stone curves on the northern side alone, the pass snakes up to 2,757 meters in altitude, twisting relentlessly around the mountain as if testing the limits of human skill. From above, it resembles a coiled serpent. From behind the wheel, it is a continuous, dizzying battle. Each tight curve demands precise steering, careful braking, and attention to the gradient. Vehicles often scrape their undercarriage on sharp bends, and trucks must sometimes reverse to navigate the tightest corners. Weather amplifies the danger. Snow can appear suddenly even in late spring, rain makes the asphalt slick, and fog can reduce visibility to near zero. Accidents are frequent, some fatal, leaving clear evidence of the pass's perils. Drivers must master engine braking and anticipate every incline and turn. Despite the risks, Stelvio Pass is legendary for its breathtaking views. Glaciers, valleys, and alpine peaks unfold with every bend. But beauty comes at a price. One small error in judgment can send a car tumbling down steep cliffs, turning the journey into a literal nightmare. Stelvio is not just a road. It is a test of nerve, precision, and endurance. Every driver who takes it on knows the adrenaline, respect, and awe it demands. This pass is a high-altitude ballet of metal, gravity, and human courage. Los Caracals Pass, Chile, Argentina. Los Caracals, or the Snails, is aptly named for its spiral-like curves stacked upon each other like a snail's shell. Located in the Andes, this pass climbs above 3,000 meters, forcing vehicles to twist relentlessly along hairpins with sheer cliffs on one side and ravines hundreds of meters deep on the other. The road is unforgiving. Heavy snowfall in winter turns the asphalt into a treacherous ice rink, while steep inclines challenge engine power and brake endurance. Trucks carrying containers or goods must proceed with extreme caution. One brake failure or engine stall can trigger disaster. Drivers must remain alert, with hands constantly on the wheel and eyes never leaving the road. Fog, snow, and icy patches add to the peril. Even for experienced drivers, Los Caracals is a high-stakes journey where survival hinges on skill, patience, and nerve. Yet the scenery is awe-inspiring: jagged Andean peaks, deep valleys, and the sheer thrill of navigating one of the most challenging passes on the continent. Los Caracals combines breathtaking beauty with life-or-death danger, making it a road that tests every fiber of a driver's courage and control. Baber D915, Turkey. Move your vehicle aside slowly, because on D915, Hesitation can cost more than pride, it can cost your life. Stretching roughly 106 kilometers between Ov and Bayburt in northeastern Turkey, this road hides a section so infamous that experienced drivers still whisper about it, the Derebashi Bends. 29 savage hairpin turns carved directly into a near-vertical mountainside, not engineered for comfort, not designed for forgiveness, simply carved into existence. The climb begins quietly, asphalt gives way to rougher surface, the air grows thinner, then suddenly, the mountain reveals its true personality. The gradient pushes towards 17%. The road narrows, and the guardrails disappear. There are none. On your left, a raw rock wall. On your right, a cliff that drops hundreds of meters into a valley so deep it looks painted. There is no shoulder, no runoff area. If your tire crosses that invisible boundary, gravity does the rest. Large trucks approaching a bend often cannot complete the turn in one motion. They must stop mid-corner, reverse, adjust, try again, all while balanced above open space. Now imagine meeting one of those trucks head-on. One of you must reverse, sometimes for dozens of meters, sometimes more, and every meter backward feels like a negotiation with fate. Weather turns this into something even darker. Fog rolls in without warning from the Black Sea region. Visibility collapses to a few meters. Rain transforms gravel into sludge. In winter, ice coats the incline, and traction becomes a luxury. Engines scream climbing upward. Radiators overheat. Brakes burn descending. If you rely too heavily on braking, they fade. If you don't brake enough, momentum pulls you forward toward the abyss. Drivers describe it the same way, heart pounding, eyes locked on the road, refusing to glance right. Because once you look into that drop, your brain starts imagining what falling would feel like. D915 is not famous because it is beautiful. It is famous because it feels unfinished by nature, like the mountain never agreed to let humans pass. And every time someone makes it through, it feels less like a commute and more like surviving a challenge issued by the earth itself. Los Caracals Pass, Chile, Argentina from above, it looks like a spiral carved into the Andes. Los Caracals, meaning the snails, earns its name from the tight, stacked hairpin bends that coil up the mountainside near the Chile-Argentina border. Located at over 3,000 meters above sea level, this pass is a crucial connection between the two countries. But crossing it feels like climbing a concrete staircase into thin air. The bends are relentless, one after another, each nearly 180 degrees. Drivers must slow drastically, then accelerate uphill again, repeating the cycle dozens of times. Heavy container trucks dominate this route. Now imagine one of those massive vehicles attempting a tight hairpin on a steep incline. Engines strain, gears grind, brakes heat up. In winter, snow blankets the road. Ice forms silently in shaded corners. Chains are often required. Strong Andean winds push against tall vehicles, threatening balance mid-turn. Guardrails exist in many areas, but not all. And even where barriers stand, they are no guarantee against the weight of a fully loaded freight truck losing braking power. Traffic congestion adds pressure. When one vehicle struggles on a climb or experiences mechanical failure, the entire pass can become gridlocked. Descending is equally intense. Brake management is critical. Overheat them on the long downhill curves, and stopping becomes increasingly difficult. Visibility can drop suddenly due to fog or snowfall. A hairpin that seemed manageable minutes ago becomes a slippery trap. Los Caracals is not a road you cruise casually. It demands rhythm, precision, mechanical awareness, and every turn reminds you that gravity is always waiting. Passage du Gois, France. Passage du Gois is a road unlike any other on Earth. This 412 km causeway connects Noirmoutier Island to mainland France, but its danger comes from the tides. Twice a day, the Atlantic Ocean swallows it entirely, leaving only a narrow window for crossing. If you mistime your journey, your car can become a temporary submarine in waters up to 4 meters deep. The surface is slippery, covered with green moss and mud that conceals potholes and uneven patches. Even on a clear day, waves can crash onto the asphalt, threatening vehicles with sudden, unexpected force. Locals respect it, but tourists often underestimate the timing and risk. The psychological pressure is immense. Every second counts, hesitation can be fatal. Drivers must calculate tides precisely, monitor water levels, and navigate the slick causeway with unwavering focus. One misjudgment, and the vehicle can be carried away by the rising water. Passage du Gois is a unique combination of natural danger and precision. It's not long, but it demands absolute attention, courage, and respect for the unpredictable ocean. Every crossing becomes a high-stakes test of nerve and timing, leaving a lasting impression on those brave enough to attempt it.